Hey everyone, and welcome back to Night Combos.
Welcome back. Hubby's here.
Yes, Abby's here. We had a different video planned to do, but this came up. A couple people messaged us on TikTok to let us know about this, so we figured we would go over it with y'all for those of you who may not have seen this yet, and also give our thoughts and stuff on it as well. But just to go ahead and let you know, this website's acting a little funky, so as we scroll through the article, so hopefully it'll work with us through the video. But real quick, I was wanting to say
Well,
that
hang on. I want to thank everybody for the happy birthday wishes. I had a great birthday, just to let everyone know.
like, darn, you just interrupted me. Hang on. Yes, he did have a good birthday weekend, y'all. So thank you all so very much. And by the way, we got a few more super thanks that we truly appreciate y'all so very much for. And we'll be pinning those to the top of the videos and everything, because we don't know if y'all want y'all's names shouted out. Which,
And PayPal also.
yeah, hubby got a couple gifts through PayPal. Well, it was for both those. Well, one was for hubby, but another one was for us and the channel, which we truly are so thankful and grateful for. Because some people have sent us cash apps, not like recently. I'm just saying some people have, and some people have sent us PayPal. But yeah, we got 2 new PayPals today that we seen yesterday and today that we seen that we greatly appreciate so very much, because we put that in our description box and then they found it and we just truly are so grateful for it. But just that reminds me of something. We took a few minutes out of our video on the last one to give a shout out to those people that had sent super thanks so far that wanted shout outs, and apparently a few people didn't like that we took the time to do that. So we're sorry that we did that. It's kind of a sorry not sorry thing, because if someone tells us that they do want to shout out, or that they don't mind us thanking them, then we're gonna thank them. So we're sorry if that offends you, that we take the time out to say thank you to all of you. We're sorry to the ones that offends, but we are so truly grateful for every single one of you. And most all of you know that we've always said that in all of our videos. And like right now, we're so excited because we were going to tell y'all that our new goal was to reach 2,750 by the end of the year of subscribers, but we're already over 2,750 subscribers. We're a little over 2,750 subscribers. So thank you all so very much.
Yes, thank you so much.
We're great. We're so thankful and grateful for all of you, every single one of you, everyone that's been with us from the beginning all the way to now, and all of our new subscribers. A lot of you have messaged us and commented to us. Some of you came over and subscribed from Toddy's channel. We appreciate y'all so much. Some of y'all are just simply new subscribers, and we greatly appreciate you so very much. So y'all let us know, like I was saying, and we truly greatly appreciate all of you so very much. But anyway, we don't want to take too much time doing that, because again, we don't want to offend anyone. We never want to upset anyone or offend anyone. But we will always thank all of you, because if it wasn't for y'all, our channel wouldn't be where it is now. So if that does bother you, just, I guess, maybe skip the first couple minutes of the video, maybe. I mean, and I'm not meaning that in a mean way at all. I'm just saying, so that it doesn't bother you. Okay, so anyway, let's jump into this, going over this article here. It's by Rolling Stone, and they just released it. And y'all see this picture here. And we know that Gyp re-dyed her hair back to brown for her baby shower, just a few weeks ago. And it was for filming, and it was being filmed, which we have found out some more stuff about the bookstore and the protest and all that stuff. We're going to put that in a separate, shorter video. So be on the lookout for that. And if you're not already subscribed, please make sure you subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our videos. And all of the things, and we would greatly appreciate it so very much. Anyway, getting into this, y'all see this picture here. I have never seen this picture before. Her hair is brown with like maybe a little bit of highlight in it. Well, not maybe, but there is a little bit of highlight in her hair, but it's still brown. Okay, so wondering about that, because it was brown at her baby shower, back brown again for her baby shower, and here it is brown in this picture. We've never seen this picture before, but you know, if y'all have, let us know in the comments down below, because we've never seen this picture before. And if this is a new picture that she took for Rolling Stones magazine for this interview that she just done, and they just published it today, you know, it's just weird to me, because you can see that she is obviously not pregnant in this picture, or obviously she doesn't look pregnant in this picture, just like the mall picture. Y'all remember that? Us showing y'all that picture with the guy and his daughter, thinking that it was so special that he was letting his young daughter meet a schmurderer and taking a picture with her, and thought that that was some type of flex. Anyway, you know, she was looking really small then, and that was before Thanksgiving, before she went down to Florida for Thanksgiving. And then all of a sudden, her and Ken took that picture in front of the Christmas tree, which I'm having to record this on hubby's phone, so I can't pull all of those pictures up like I would like to, because for some reason, I pulled the article up on my phone to do this video on, and it was there, and then all of a sudden it went away. Like, it, again, it's being weird. But I just thought I would point that out, because it's really odd how, again, her stomach goes from appearing to disappearing. Again, it's going through that phase again, which I've never seen in pregnancy before, never experienced in pregnancy before, nothing of someone's stomach appearing, disappearing, and reappearing. It's just real weird. Anyway, it says, exclusive, Gypsy Rose Blanchard is ready to tell her story, then leave it all behind. Okay, I doubt that very seriously. But anyway, she spent 7 years in prison for the murder of her, y'all can see the word, abusive mother, with the basically saying that her mother committed DV against her, which we put out our video, Gypsy aid Dee Dee, quote, aid Dee Dee, you know, saying that it was the other way around from what Dip Jip claims. With the publication of a new memoir, the true crime darling, like, what? She's a darling for being a part of a true crime? Anyway, wants to set the record straight. The true crime darling wants to set the record straight. That's odd to me that you're calling her darling. Shame on you, Rolling Stones. Shame on y'all. That's all I've got to say about that. Anyway, y'all can see here that photograph, it says by Timothy Bella, photograph by Emily, I don't even know how to say her last name, but regardless of that, it says December 8th, 2024. So this picture was taken for this Rolling Stones article that was published today, which is odd. So again, let us know y'all's thoughts on it. Before I start the video, y'all, just for those of you who love hubby, I just wanted to say he's gonna go lay down for a few minutes because he's been dealing with a migraine all day. So anyway, he probably won't be a part of most of this video. Anyway, it starts out by saying, sitting in a white armchair on the Sunday morning after Thanksgiving, the soft bayou light streaming into her family home, something is bugging Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And I'm reading through this because we have had some people tell us that they can't see some of the stuff that we put up on the screen. So just trying to accommodate them, and also because there was some stuff we were wanting to point out in the article as well as we go through it. So I'm reading it for those that can't see it. We try to accommodate everyone and make everyone happy, but we're not always going to make everyone happy in every video. But we're one big family here on this channel, so that's going to happen sometimes. We're going to disagree at times or have opposite opinions, and that's okay. We can agree to disagree, or we may change each other's minds, or agree to disagree, like I said, and move on to the next video. All that is okay. It's fine. It doesn't mean anyone has to get mad or angry or anything like that. We can all just move on to the next video, on to the next topic. But anyway, just wanted to explain that for some people. Anyway, it starts out saying, quote, "It feels like a circus," end quote, she tells Rolling Stone in her distinctive, high-pitched voice. All around her, there are family photos and reminders of people who love her. There's a sign across from her that reaffirms this. Family, a little bit of crazy, a little bit of loud, and a whole lot of love. But she keeps no pictures of her mother around. Wonder why. Blanchard, 33, spent more than 8 years incarcerated for her involvement in the 2015 murder of Claudine Dee Dee Blanchard. Since she was released last year, the attention has been constant. Quote, "I'm not an animal in a cage," she says, end quote. Well, in a cage, end quote, she says. Blanchard's private life is better now in the small bayou town where she lives, about an hour outside of New Orleans. She is staying at the home of her father, Rod, and stepmother, Christy, and is experiencing a lot of new things. Grocery shopping, paying bills, doing laundry, which hubby would get a kick out of, because what bills do you have to pay, girly pop? Seriously. And I don't believe you're grocery shopping either, because that's part of what you and Christy have been arguing about, is that you don't do anything around the house and stuff. So, yeah, I doubt you're doing it now. Just my opinion, though. I'd love it if hubby was here to give his opinion. She just returned from Florida, where she spent the holiday with her boyfriend Ken Urker and swam in the ocean for the first time. "I got water in my mouth and was like, oh, it's salty. I didn't expect that," she says in an almost childlike tone. The couple, who first met through a pen pal program in 2017 and reconnected after her release, is expecting their first child, a daughter, in January. Blanchard hopes she can go to cosmetology school later on to become a hairdresser. Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, do something with your life. Make your own money instead of wanting everything for free, grifty Miss Grifterson. But let's not pretend. Like, come on, stop acting and talking like a 5-year-old child. Or really like a 3-year-old child. "Oh, it was salty. I wasn't expecting that." Like, let's use some common sense here. You know the dad blame ocean is salt water. Like, really? You didn't expect for the water to be salty if it got in your mouth? And I thought you didn't know how to swim, by the way. Y'all remember this?
Eggs like a frog. Scissor kick. There you go. Yep, you're doing the breaststroke.
Not hardly.
Don't make me go in and get you. Okay, first time's almost swimming and almost drowning. Eggs like a frog.
Like, you're in 4 feet of water. We all know you're 4'11", but you're in 4.5 foot of water. You can stand up. Your legs were literally touching the bottom of the pool. Like, stop acting. Stop it. You were doing this for attention. You remember posting this, though, on your own TikTok page there, Dip Jip? Remember that? Yeah. But now you're swimming in a whole big old ocean? Okay. That's just like you said when you were in California in that pink dress. Y'all remember that? And she said it was her very first time ever at the beach. And then I think it was Nina that showed on her page that it actually was not her first time at the beach. Yeah. But we all know she lies. Continuing on with the article, it shows this picture here. The picture in the background is some kind of ad. Again, I told you the website is acting a little wonky, so anyway, they showed this picture of her and Ken at the baby shower with Ken's head cut out of the picture, but he had his hands on her stomach or whatever. It goes on to say, while Godejohn was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life without the possibility of parole, Blanchard was given 10 years in prison for second-degree murder and was released last year after serving about 7. She had spent an additional year and a half incarcerated waiting for trial. Since then, she's been torn between reclaiming her life story and coming to grips with the fact that some of her legions of followers might be paying attention for the wrong reasons. Quote, I don't want people to follow me because of the crime that I committed, Blanchard says. Quote, I don't want to have fans because they feel like what I did was right. Dressed in a slouchy yellow sweater, she hands me her phone. The left sleeve is pulled up to reveal a tattoo of a husky on her forearm, with Urker having a matching one. The screen shows a photo taken without Blanchard's consent of her in the waiting room of her OBGYN's office with Urker, which was subsequently posted to a Reddit forum dedicated to dragging her. Rolling Stones, why are y'all taking up for this murder? Seriously, I just need to know. But also, she wants to hand the person interviewing her from Rolling Stones her phone, saying, look, this picture was taken without my consent. When it happened, it was all over TikTok, and people went, and I can't find it to pull it up, but maybe it's been taken down now. But she was literally all over those people's pages saying thank you, because some girl on TikTok made a video saying, seeing Gypsy in the doctor's office today, her baby bump looks cute. And this was when she was very early in pregnancy, supposedly, allegedly, apparently, whatever you want to say. And she was literally telling the girl thank you and reposting that video on her own TikTok page and saying thank you and it was nice to meet you and all of that. So now you're complaining about that, Dip Jip? Make up your mind, like literally, seriously. Maybe you want to become a hairdresser because you want to be a gossiper. Not that all hairdressers are. I'm just saying, y'all know the old saying of like, if you want to know the gossip, go to the hairdresser. Just saying, maybe that's what she's thinking or something. Who knows? The article goes on to say, on Facebook, she shows me there's a photo someone snapped of Blanchard talking to a teller at the bank, along with comments trolling her appearance, her relationship, and the crime itself. Okay, no, they took a picture and they were showing how she did not look pregnant at all, and her stomach was very flat after she looked very much 8 months pregnant. When she was only around 20 weeks, and she was looking like she was 8 months pregnant on her own TikTok page. Then all of a sudden her belly was disappearing again. I mean, it's been this whole charade this whole time. Like it's ridiculous. But in the video that we're gonna do about the bookstore and stuff, and calling them, and the information that we found out about the protest and all of that, we're going to tell y'all some things we found out about the whole filming thing and all of that in that video. So make sure you have your notification bells turned on, and make sure you subscribe if you're not. Then the article says, when she was released in December 2023, Blanchard believed that she could and would live a normal life. Quote, and then, she says, quote, I started to understand that it is not reality. Okay, I don't understand how she thought she was going to live a normal life when we literally, which is also going to be another video we do, have dozens and dozens of text messages between her and Ken and Fancy and Christy and Ken and Christy and Fancy and Gypsy and between Gypsy and Natasha and Gypsy and Ken and all of that we still have to finish going through and reading through and all of that. From when she was in prison and stuff like that, when her and Kim were engaged, all of that, but talking about her doing the Dr. Phil interview, talking about her doing her first book with Melissa Moore, which she done this book that's about to come out with Melissa Moore as well, but her first book, Prison Confessions with Melissa Moore, whatever, yeah, doing all of these interviews and writing these books of people and all this stuff, you literally thought you were going to come out and just live a normal life. No, you did not. And it says it in messages and it says it in text where you were literally trying to control the narrative from prison. And Christy's even talking about how she's trying to control the narrative for you while you were in prison, and how they were trying to get your image out there in the public eye and in the press and everything for you before you came out of prison, and you knew about every single bit of it, Dip Jip. So I don't know why you're sitting here lying in an article now. Like, do you literally have a memory problem? Like, I know all of us forget things sometimes, but this girl tends to forget literally like 1 second to the next. Do you forget we've seen all these things? Do you forget that we've heard all these things? Do you forget that we've read all these things? Seriously, it's ridiculous. Anyway, the article goes on to say, instead, her reality is much more complicated. Oh my God. Could it be because you made it that way? It's why she says she felt compelled to tell her story in full. On December 10th, Blanchard will release her memoir, My Time to Stand, which details her mother's suspected case of Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Well, I'm dang sure glad that... Hubby, I'm glad you walked in here. Listen to this part just real quick. Instead, her reality is much more complicated. It's why she says she felt compelled to tell her story in full. On December 10th, Blanchard will release her memoir, My Time to Stand, which details her mother's suspected case of Munchausen syndrome by proxy.
What?
Yes, and she's she's always said, well, my mom has Munchausen by proxy. Munchausen by proxy. My mom had MBP. My mom had MBP. She's always said that.
Yeah.
And people have proven her wrong by showing the video where she has said many times, well, I'd never even heard of that until my lawyers told me.
I know, right?
People proved her wrong with that.
Time and time again.
Yeah. I cannot believe she said that in this article.
That's crazy.
It really is. Sorry to bother you, though, baby. You go back and or get yourself something to drink or whatever it is you were going to do and go lay back down. But I just had to show you that part. You walked in at the perfect time. Sorry, y'all. But it goes on to say, a mental illness in which a caretaker makes up fake symptoms or causes real ones to appear that a healthy child is sick. And the ABUSE, Gypsy suffered as a result. Now, Rolling Stones, how can y'all say that for a fact? Because y'all weren't there. Just like the Dip Jip White Knighters want to say, well, she was ABUSED. No, she wasn't. There's facts out there. There's medical documents out there. There's so much proof out there. All you got to do is do your research. All you got to do is do your digging, calling around, stuff like that. Fact check things. Do your homework on it. All of that. And you'll find out. Come on, people. Be real. And then Rolling Stones is wanting to jump on this bandwagon of literally going along with it. and go along with her lie? This is wild to me that Rolling Stones did this. It blows my mind. Then it says in parentheses, her mother, for instance, subjected her to endless medical procedures for diseases she didn't have. Which is absolutely untrue. She had very few surgeries. She had 4 to 5 surgeries. I would have to go back in our notes and look at where we have researched it and looked it up and everything. I'm wanting to say it was only 4 surgeries total. She had the surgery on her leg to do a muscle biopsy. She had tubes put in her ears. She had some of her salivary glands removed, not all of them. And I'm wanting to say there was one other thing, maybe an eye surgery or something like that. But regardless, it was like 4 or 5 surgeries, and she tries to say she had over 30 surgeries. No, she absolutely most certainly did not. The article goes on to say it also covers the family dysfunction and trauma she experienced as a child from her grandfather's SA of both her and her mother to the lies her mother told to government agencies and charities to scam benefits, including a house from Habitat for Humanity. Well, we're going to be doing an update video on that as well. So, y'all, we have a lot of juicy videos coming up. I can promise you they have a lot of information in them. She talks about the men, including Godejohn, with whom she began relationships online. Well, at least she was being honest about that Nick Godejohn wasn't the first man she was with, because she tried to tell that lie for the longest time. But we all know there was a man before Dan Glidewell. Then there was Dan Glidewell. Then there was Nick. I mean, come on. Like, there's no telling when that girl lost her virginity, to be honest, because it sure wasn't in the bathroom at the movie theater with Nick Godejohn. But anyway, she talks about the men, including Godejohn, with whom she began relationships online, and the multiple attempts she made to escape from her mother's home. All the while, Dee Dee was godlike to her, her sole caretaker, who was always hovering. Sorry, I was about to say overhearing. Who was always hovering. Gypsy Rose will never find true love, Blanchard claims her mother would tell her. Gypsy Rose will never find happiness. The memoir's release comes at a time of a radical change for Blanchard. In the past year, she divorced her ex-husband, who she married in 2022, which is not true because she's still not divorced from him. They actually have a divorce hearing tomorrow. It's a civil hearing, so we don't know if the divorce will be finalized at that time or not, but we plan on covering it. But she's not divorced yet, so I don't know how you can say that. So she has not divorced her ex-husband yet. That's still her husband. Remember her last live that we have on our channel for y'all to see if y'all want to go back and look at it? Of her saying that her being all pissy that he slapped some girl's A or whatever in her words. But the article says she divorced her ex-husband, whom she married in 2022, became pregnant, and had to learn life skills like balancing a budget. What the flip kind of lies? That she was never taught growing up. While Blanchard's story has been across numerous platforms, she says the memoir is the first time she has full control of her narrative. You got that right, Dip Jip. And the events leading up to and after the schmurder. You have got that absolutely right. Yes, this is the first time she's been able to control the narrative. Well, not the first time, because actually she's always controlled the narrative. And if you go back to that video that is titled, on our channel, that is titled Gypsy, quote, Aid Dee Dee, you'll see what we're talking about. She was actually the aggressor and the one who committed DV against her mother, Dee Dee. So actually, she's always tried to control the narrative, but most of us know that. After years of trying to move away from the crime, she is returning to the scene in her memory and in her own words. In her memory and in her own words. An author's note in the beginning of the book says that while some of Blanchard's memories have faded, the memoir is, quote, true to my memory, and these memories have shaped my perceptions, many of which are also shared here, end quote. Y'all hear that quote again carefully. The memoir is, quote, true to my memory, and these memories have shaped my perceptions, many of which are also shared here. Talking about here in this article. So she's already telling us in so many words, in my opinion anyway, that her book is full of lies. It's just her memory of things. And we all know as children, we may think we have a memory of something as a very, very young child, but really it's like a memory of a picture we've seen in a family album or something like that, you know what I'm saying? But that's not her case. These are things she's making up. Anyway, the book itself outlines the story of a young, poor girl growing up in Louisiana and Missouri, bound to a single mother who made Blanchard think that it was them against the world, which proves our point right there that Rod was not always in her life and didn't try to be in her life, which that's a whole nother video as well. To win, Dee Dee had to lie, cheat, and steal with Blanchard as an accomplice to her mother's fraud and a victim of her ABUSE. She worked with two co-writers for it, Melissa Moore, who is the daughter of a serial schmurderer called the Happy Face Unaliver, I believe. Either the Happy Face or the Smiley Face Unaliver. I'm not sure exactly on that one. The Happy Face Killer. Sorry, oh my gosh, the Happy Face Unaliver. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. The Happy Face Unaliver is Melissa Moore's father. But there's a whole story behind her as well that Becca Scoop's done on her. Y'all can go and look at that video if y'all like to because it's pretty good. She explains Melissa Moore's story about her wanting more fame and she didn't get enough fame from her father's story, so she tried to ride the dip train to fame. Yeah. And Michelle Matriciani, if I'm pronouncing that right, I think I am. Forgive me if I'm not. Who began working with her when she was still in prison and uncertain of an early release. But we also know, if y'all go back and look and dig into it, we also know Melissa Moore was literally talking to Dip Jip and or visiting her every week for like 5 years on the phone, and also visiting her, like I said, to get her story, to help Dip Jip know what to say to the parole board and stuff like that. Well, to get her story for one thing, but also when it was coming up for her time for her to try to get released out on parole, Melissa Moore was the one that was going over the questions they may ask her and what answers to say and all of that. That's in an interview that Ryan and Gypsy are sitting on the couch talking to Melissa Moore doing after she got out of prison. So y'all can look that interview up if you don't believe us. But seriously, she was literally telling the parole board what to say so that she would be released or get parole. It goes on to say, she's lived a lot of life, a life of ups and downs, but more ups than downs, says her stepmother, Christy, who's been married to her father, Rod, for 25 years. Well, you got that right. She's had more ups than downs. That's true. She's gotten free trips, a free house, free cars, free concert tickets, meeting celebrities giving them money, normal people giving them money, everything. Yeah, she's had a great life, great ups. Yeah, that's true. She's doing all the things that her mom said she couldn't do. Falling in love, getting married, getting divorced, reuniting with the love of her life, having their child, and even cutting the grass or taking out the garbage. Those are the things she couldn't do. In my opinion, I do not see Dee Dee saying, no, don't you dare take that trash out, or no, don't you dare clean something, or no, don't you dare cut the grass, don't you dare do a chore, don't you dare lift a finger as a grown dad blame adult to help around the house. Like, come on. We all know that most of it was yes, Dee Dee done her cons and stuff to get them money and everything, but Gypsy walked around the house. She done whatever she wanted to. She controlled things around that house. Go look at that video we done. Gypsy, quote, A-ing Dee Dee. Since her conviction, she's appeared on The View, Dr. Phil, The Kardashians, with both The Cut and Slate dubbing her America's sweetheart. I don't know why in the world you would dub a schmurderer a, quote, sweetheart. We were warned before, hubby and I were warned when we were getting messages on TikTok that this article would piss us right off, and it absolutely has. But I'm sure it pisses a lot of y'all off as well. But why would you dub a schmurderer who took her own mother off the face of this earth America's sweetheart? Like, what? Excuse me, huh? Like, isn't there more people that you could dub that than her? I mean, I could give many examples right now other than Dip Gypsy. Wow, okay. I dub her as Dipsy Gypsy. In the process, she's becoming a polarizing figure. Her supporters maintain she is a survivor who has done her time and should be able to live a private life. On TikTok, the Reddit, her detractors loudly flood the platforms with a mix of legitimate criticism, conspiracy theories, and unflattering memes, calling Blanchard a liar and grifter who is profiting from her crime. The memoir is also getting review bombed on sites like Goodreads with 1-star ratings before anyone has read a page. Oh my goodness. Well, they can read what all the book's about. There's a long section of what the book's about that you can read what it's about, and they probably see the lies in it already, and that's why they have, reviewed it with 1 star and review bombed the sites or whatever, giving it 1-star ratings. That's probably why. And by the way, since you're calling out TikTok and Reddit and social media platforms and all of that, Gypsy, while you're doing that, are you also calling your BFF Bree, who's literally on TikTok 24/7? Are you also calling her one of those detractors and one of those people that's calling you a liar? Yeah, because she does tell on you a lot. We've showed many examples of that in videos on our channel. This reality can be depressing for Blanchard, who is preparing for possible protesters at a book signing event in New Orleans later this month. She has publicly... Y'all, this has got me. She has publicly disavowed what she did to her mother, as well as supporters who feel unaliving her mom was somehow the cool thing to do. That means that she's saying she has publicly, denied responsibility of what she did to her mother. You have denied taking responsibility or accountability of what you did to your mother. Anyway, this is getting me, y'all. It goes on to say, but each time someone secretly takes a photo of her in public or posts a video slamming her, she wonders if there is any path toward a normal life or if she's even capable of living such a life by the time she becomes a mother of her own. Quote, when people come up to me and are like, I don't blame you, I would have done the same thing. I'm disgusted, she says. It's not like I look back on my past and am proud of what I did. I'm very ashamed of it. So I honestly get offended whenever someone says things to me like that because they are missing the whole point. Really? Then why do you have your BFF Bree literally taking up for everything that you did constantly 24/7 on TikTok? Why do you have other people doing your dirty work by proxy, dipjip, on social media? You literally do. We've showed so many examples it's not even funny. Many people have showed many examples of you using people by proxy since you've had to come off of social media. Not by choice, by the way. Then it shows a picture of her book, My Time to Stand, and says Dee Dee's, I think it's supposed to say screams, but they misspelled it. Dee Dee's screams stay with Blanchard. So does the total silence that followed the schmurder. How do you know, Rolling Stones? Really? How do y'all know? Y'all don't know that to be true. Anyway, quote, to this day, I have never seen the crime scene pictures, she tells Rolling Stone. Quote, I heard her scream, but the aftermath of what happened is unknown to me. Well, that's a blatant, flat out lie, because we know that you went back in that room, put your little Barney doll at the top of your unalived mother's head, sprinkled baby powder all over the room so thick it looked like it snowed all over the dressers and nightstands, fans, everything that was in that room. You had dryer sheets all over the mattress up under her. How they get up under her if you didn't like put them there? Like, come on. Stop it. Just stop. They were all over the mattress, y'all, after they had removed Dee Dee's body from it. Dryer sheets were. Baby powder was everywhere. And you're telling me you didn't go back. And you've already admitted that you were the one cleaning up the red stuff. Y'all know what I mean by the red stuff. That and the drops on the floor in the room and right outside of the room. So what do you mean? You heard her scream, but the aftermath of what happened is unknown to you. You literally seen her laying there, not living anymore. Oh my God. The nerve of Rolling Stone for literally posting this, or promoting this, posting this, all of it. Then it says, when she was recording the audiobook for her memoir, Blanchard broke down, recalling her breaking point leading to the unaliving. When Dee Dee lied to doctors and pushed for an exploratory surgery on her larynx, which could have potentially silenced her voice, literally forever, which it didn't, but we've never seen evidence of that surgery anyway. To Blanchard, it felt like her mother was lying to doctors as her way to cut her daughter's throat. Quote, I started to think, if nothing happens, how old will I be until this stops? Will I be in my 40s? Will I be in my 50s? Will I pass away? She says. That was the moment when I was like, okay, something needs to happen right now. End quote. And I did have to put some words in there, like pass away. Anyway, she then struggled, recounting how she lay in a fetal position with her hands pressed over her ears as Godejohn repeatedly jabbed Dee Dee as she called out for her daughter. In that moment, Gypsy couldn't think about the years of ABUSE she suffered. She could only focus on her breathing. For a while, Blanchard had a recurring nightmare that had her reliving her mother's murder each night as an observer witnessing the crime. I wonder why you were having a recurring nightmare of reliving your mother's murder and witnessing it. Was it because maybe you had a hand in it? Just a theory, just an assumption, just a question. Asking for a friend. Maybe hubby wants to know. I'll let him know later what your answer is. We know you wouldn't answer us anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Maybe you're having nightmares of witnessing the crime because you actually seen it happen, or you at least seen the aftermath of it. We know that to be fact. Then it says, I didn't want to make Dee Dee's unaliving the sole point of the book, but I did want readers to understand that there is a level of trauma, she says. It's not something that happens and then you just go back to your daily life and you're fine. It's something that doesn't go away. In the book, Blanchard examines her mother's motivations, particularly how Dee Dee was keenly unaware that she was creating a world of lies and lore from an early age. I heard from her brothers, her sisters, that she was kind of the black sheep. She didn't just quite fit in, Blanchard says. There were certain aspects of her personality that were manipulative and controlling. Like you would know, because that's exactly what you are. A narcissistic, manipulative, pathological, controlling liar. But there wasn't enough awareness at the time in the 80s and 90s about mental health issues, so it just very much went undetected. Well, you weren't alive in the 80s, Jup, so you wouldn't really know there. We're almost to the end, but y'all, Girly Pop is ridiculous in this article. Like, girlfriend, oh my God, your lies. I asked Blanchard, who admits in the book that she was taught to live a life of deception, the greatest lie that Dee Dee told her. This is going to sound a little harsh, Blanchard says. Quote, but I think the greatest lie she ever told was that she loved me. End quote. Aww. Poor Gypsy thinks that her mom Dee Dee didn't love her. Or maybe it was the other way around because you're the one that unalived your mom. Or, remember the time that you came storming into the hotel room and you pushed your mother over on the bed? Or remember the time where you pushed a child's eyeballs so far back in the child's head? Or remember the time when you were grabbing a child by the head of the hair and by the hair of the head and hitting her in the face? Or, so many other things. But, if you were doing that, we could only imagine what you were doing to your own mom. So, yeah. And remember when you picked up that BB pew pew and used it, unloaded it, matter of fact, on your mom? And instead of having you arrested right then and there like she should have, she went and made up a story at the hospital that y'all were robbed in a Walmart parking lot or attacked in a Walmart parking lot. Remember that? All of these things only a mother could love. All of these things only a mother could look over and get over and get past and think, that's my child. I still love her unconditionally. So how dare you say that about your mom, Dee Dee? Jip, you should be ashamed. Matriciani, one of the memoir's co-writers, understood early on that Blanchard did not want to make the book a justification for murder as a response to lifelong physical, mental and emotional ABUSE. This is a young woman who is really trying to make sense of why things happened the way they did and how things are not black and white. Matriciani tells Rolling Stone, "It's very hopeful. It's dark, but it's hopeful." Blanchard knows she's not alone in the morbid club of people who murdered family members who they claim aided them. ABUSED them. She hopes the Menendez brothers, who are, oh, did you finally get educated on the Menendez brothers case to be able to speak on it or something? Anyway, she hopes the Menendez brothers, who are serving life in prison without the possibility of parole for the 1989 murder of their parents, are granted their freedom. A resentencing hearing for the brothers is scheduled for January. And we're going to cover that, y'all, also as well. But last, Gypsy said she wasn't educated on their case enough to be able to speak on it, but now all of a sudden she is? Yeah, okay, whatever. Then it says, "I feel like they have paid their dues to society. 30 years is a long time," Blanchard says. "I'm one of those people that feels that they did their time for the crime. Let them have their freedom. I'm in support of anyone that has been a victim of ABUSE like that because it's not something anyone should ever go through." Well, you don't know because you don't know the type of ABUSE that the Menendez brothers go through or went through, sorry. And for you to compare yourself to that is really screwed up, girlfriend. You need to bring it all the way back together. You need to get it all the way together, girl. For real. Because you cannot compare yourself to them. They actually went through ABUSE, severe SA, and physical ABUSE. Then it shows the quote big. When people come up to me and are like, "I don't blame you. I would have done the same thing. I'm disgusted." I just want to know, Gyp, like asking for a friend, are you telling all of your supporters that are doing all your dirty work by proxy that you think that they're disgusting? Huh? Because that's what they all say to you, and that's what they all say to the public, and that's what they constantly feed you to feed your little ego, or your huge ego, shall I say. Do you let them know that you're disgusted by them? Doubt it. Matter of fact, I know you don't. It's a little after 9 a.m., and for now, the house, which is covered in portraits of the family, including the pregnancy photos of a smiling Blanchard and Urker basking in joy and golden hour lighting, is relatively quiet. Later, the family will watch the Saints play the Rams and put up Christmas decorations. White stockings already hang above the fireplace. In the coming days, a TV crew will arrive to shoot the second season of her Lifetime reality show, Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup. She's planning to pre-sign hundreds of books ahead of the event in New Orleans, where online critics who don't want her to profit off her past say they're threatening to protest. Nobody's ever come up to me with anything negative to say, Blanchard says. Now, y'all, I just want to say, Bree did make a video about that, trying to say, I don't think anyone will protest, and if they do, they'll flip their signs around real quick with something positive on the other side to Gypsy's face, because nobody's ever confronted her to her face. That's because she won't allow people to confront her to her face. Heck, she won't even allow people to confront her nicely and cordially on an email or a DM or through social media. She won't even answer them or allow them to confront her. She won't answer their questions. So, there you go, Bree. Okay, no, this is a little long, y'all, but we're almost to the end. We're right about at the end, y'all. It says, leaning back in her green recliner, Christy subsequently guesses why none of the online hate shows itself in person. Quote, they don't have the balls. Are you freaking kidding me? Baby, you walked in at a good time, hubby. You did. Did you hear that I just read?
Yeah, I heard it.
Like, what the flip? People have tried and tried and tried.
But y'all will not answer back.
Exactly. Like, people have tried, and yes, some people have been rude and mean about it. And we're not condoning that at all in any way. But people have tried to literally interview y'all, different members of y'all's family, including Dip Jip, nicely and cordially, including us, to ask y'all questions, to see what y'all's answers would be to the what y'all think are quote hard questions, but they shouldn't be hard questions. And y'all won't answer them. Y'all block, click delete. Y'all do all those kinds of things. So what do you mean? People have tried to come to you face to face and y'all run, or you have security come up to them or whatever. That's why y'all are planning what y'all are planning for the book signing to happen if people do show up to protest, which again we're going to talk about in another video. I can't believe Christy has the nerve to say that. Christy, you ain't got the balls to face anybody. Literally, you don't. We've seen the lives that you've been a part of on TikTok and stuff. You won't answer the questions. You won't. You won't let anyone other than the people that support y'all interview you. You won't even join a live of an opposing side. Matter of fact, the only person I've seen join a live of the opposing side is maybe Ken. He's talked to like Morbid and a couple of other people who don't agree with him. And he's actually said, I invite the opposing side. I'll talk to them. We may not agree, but I'll talk to them, like, at least he has the balls to do that. Christy, you don't. Krusty Christy, you don't, Dip Jip. None of the rest of you do either. Blanchard maintains that she doesn't see herself as famous and never sought out attention. She can talk endlessly about how much the guilt, shame, and responsibility for her mother's murder weigh on her, but that still doesn't Sorry, I got tongue-tied, y'all. But that still doesn't deter some young people from approaching the person they see as TikTok famous and saying they support her because she helped unalive her mom. It leaves her in no man's land, appreciative of the support, but decrying the catalyst for why some of her fans are there in the first place. Because you wanted them there. Because you wanted the quote fame. Gypsy, you wanted it. You asked for it and you got it. Not the fame. It's not really fame. You got what people really thought of you. And you couldn't handle it. And you still can't. There's Gypsy Rose Blanchard from the media and documentaries, and then there's Gypsy that my family knows, that my partner knows, that I know, she says. The two are in the same body, but I just kind of feel like nobody really knows the real me. Blanchard knows that some people... does your BFF Bree know that? That she doesn't know the real you? Just, again, asking for a friend. Blanchard knows that some people will never let her live down her sins or the sins of her mother. We know that Dee Dee did con people and stuff like that, but she didn't unalive anybody. Y'all get this next part. She says that she recently tried to volunteer for Habitat for Humanity, which built and gifted the home to Dee Dee after the mother and daughter lost their Louisiana home to Hurricane Katrina. It was part of a con that they got that house, but moving on. But Blanchard says the organization declined her offer in part because Lifetime wanted to film the experience for the reality show. And we can show y'all the emails, but this is already running long. But we do have the emails. We can show them in another video. where Gypsy literally received an email back saying from Habitat for Humanity, basically saying thanks but no thanks, because that's not what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about, literally giving your time to a charity, not to make money off of being filmed, pretending to nail in, hammer in a nail, like you did in those pictures when you and your mom got that house. Remember that? Yeah. I did express that I would like to make amends for what my mom did, and I got rejected, she tells me. No, it was what you and your mom did. Remember that? But anyway, I've found that not everybody forgives. Since when do you need permission to make amends? You could simply have donated money to them, wrote a check, and sent it off. Or if they wouldn't take your money, which I don't believe. I believe they would have accepted a donation. But regardless of that, even if they wouldn't have accepted a donation, you could have gave the money to someone else and got them to write a check for you to be able to donate the money back. But you want praise for it. You want to be filmed doing it. You literally got mad that you made a small donation to Make-A-Wish Foundation and did not get, and Lifetime didn't film it for you to be praised for it. You literally got pissed about that. Remember, Dip Jip? In parentheses, it says, a spokesperson for Habitat for Humanity did not respond to a request for comment. She also understands that there appears to be a disconnect between saying she wants a private and quiet life with her burgeoning career as a social media influencer and reality TV star. Blanchard has recently stayed in the headlines on gossip sites thanks to her posting the results of a paternity test to prove that Urker is the father and quell rumors that the child was her ex's. That is not the only reason that people have been posting about you and talking about you. It's also been because you've been all up in the comment section and using your fake accounts and stuff as well. Just saying. Quote, it's how it is right now, she says. Quote, I don't think the public will ever let me fade into obscurity altogether. I think there will always be curiosity about what I'm doing in my life, and I have come to accept it, end quote. Wow, what a big old head on you. And to think you were born with a small head and actually physically have a small head, but it seems like your head is blowing up like a balloon, girlfriend. For real, girly pot. I mean, what is going on? Like, you literally think that people are just always going to talk about you forever and ever because you're just so famous. No, you're not. You're not famous. You're infamous because you unalived your mother. Okay? Please remember that. But yeah, you will fade into the obscurity altogether, or however you want to say it. You will fade off in the sunset. Whatever phrase y'all want to use, she'll fade off. And she won't know what the heck to do. Because people won't be talking about her anymore. She'll do something else crazy to make people talk about her again. She will. And of course people are going to cover it. Why wouldn't we? But after the show is finished filming what she says will be the last season, Blanchard wants to disconnect and plan her exit from the public eye. Well, there you go, y'all. Dip Jip announced this is going to be the last season, so we'll see, because she's also said that there was going to be another season after this one. But I think they know that the ratings weren't so good the first go around. You know, when she ended up leaving Ryan, the documentary ended with her leaving Ryan and being overexcited about being allegedly pregnant by Ken. Yeah, it didn't get very good ratings, and I think they know that this season isn't going to get really good ratings. That's why they're contacting creators for their, videos and content and stuff like that, and also doing other things that we're going to talk about in another video. It has to do with the bookstore and all that. But anyway, then she says that off ramp includes backing away from her public social media accounts, which she says she only uses for promotion these days. Wonder why, Dip Jip, wonder why. Is it because your P.O. told you to? I think so. Anyway, as well as raising her daughter, whom she and Urker plan to name Aurora. We all already knew that months and months ago. She eventually wants to get her own place and be closer to Urker, who lives in New Orleans. Is that so you can actually pay bills like you claimed at the beginning of this article that you already do now? So you can learn how to pay bills and have to get a real job like a real person like you claimed at the beginning of this article? Or is this all lies yet again? Probably all lies yet again. Anyway, Blanchard is also taking driver's education, which terrifies her. Why haven't you already done that, is my thing. She could have been doing that and she could have already had her driver's license. Anyway, I'm very scared to drive because I'm like, what if I hit someone and it turns into a whole big thing and I go back to prison, she says. I need to be responsible enough as a mom to do that. Yeah, if you're going to become a mother, there's more responsibilities you need to have and get than just knowing how to drive. Literally, like bonding with the baby to speak of the very first thing, which you seem to have not done at all. You have no bond with this apparent baby or child at all whatsoever. As part of her consideration of motherhood, Blanchard must confront what she plans to tell her daughter about Dee Dee. Whether it's on TikTok, the book, or her nightmares, her mother's schmurder remains. When the time comes to talk to her daughter about who her grandmother was and what happened to her, Blanchard wants there to be no more lies. Well, hopefully so, Dip Jip. Hopefully you'll tell her the truth when she's older. Hopefully you will. Instead of letting her only watch your documentary and only listen to your book, because we all know that that's nothing but your lie and your narrative that you've been spreading. And we're at the end, y'all. This is the last few paragraphs, and I find it hard that this is in quotes because I don't see Dip Jip using these words, but regardless, it says, quote, I feel like the book is a nice segue into when Aurora is older and a lot of people might give her shoot or bully her over it, she says. Quote, in essence, this book is for her. This is so she can have a place of comfort that is safe for her. I don't think your book is going to be a safe place for your child. Just saying. That's just my opinion. Blanchard's relationship with her mother was based on lies. Now the adult, she plans to tell Aurora the truth about how every choice she made in her life, whether it was right or very wrong, has been with the hope of having her own daughter. Really? Really now? I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there. Not even gonna go there. Y'all can come to y'all's own conclusions. The last paragraph says, quote, where do I go from here? Is constantly what I'm asking myself, because I'm trying not to look back, she says. Quote, I'm always like, this is what happened. Now what do I have to live for? End quote. And that's the end of the article, y'all. But why would you be saying, now what do I have to live for? If you have this alleged child on the way that's literally fixing to come in January. I mean, I would literally be saying, well, my child is what I have to live for now, and my husband and my family and the family we're going to have together. And, I know for a fact that's the words that would be coming out of my mouth if I was asked. That's just my opinion. Just wanted to go over this article with y'all. Y'all let us know y'all's thoughts, opinions, comments, everything down below. Drop them in the comment section. As always, we'll be conversating with all of you. We hope y'all enjoyed this video. Sorry hubby couldn't be a part of all of it, but he was still with us, we were all still thinking of him. But, or I can say I was anyway. I was still thinking of him while doing the video. But, y'all, he really wasn't feeling good. He's been dealing with a migraine since earlier today. Since this morning. But we hope y'all enjoyed this video. And again, we do have those other videos coming in the next couple of days, along with the updated PO video. Don't forget about that video that we have coming as well, where we were talking to the state people above her parole officer and above his director. So make sure, if you're not already, make sure to please subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of those videos or any of our videos. And we'll see y'all in the next one. And we hope y'all have a good night and God bless. Bye.